One of the best things about the holidays is the food. And here with some tips on Hanukkah cooking is Meryl, life editor of for the Long Island Jewish World and the author of that newspaper's food column, right?
Right.
And I want to thank you very much for coming. What special foods do we do for Hanukkah?
Okay, basically, Hanukkah foods are cooked in oil. And the reason for this is to symbolize the miracle of Hanukkah. When the Jews were victorious, they went to rededicate the temple, and they found only enough oil to last for 1 day. And miraculously, it lasted for 8 days. So we cook foods in oil to symbolize that miracle.
And that's why we have the 8 candles on the menorah, right. Or the Hanukkah, what do you call it?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Well, you brought some foods along here, so why don't we take a look at some of them, and you tell us what's special about them.
Okay, these symbolize some of the stories of Hanukkah and the symbols of Hanukkah. First of all, I've brought along Hanukkah cookies, and these are a very good way to involve children in the holiday. In fact, my 2 oldest sons, Jonathan and Daniel, actually made these cookies.
Tell them they're very good. I just want that.
Okay. This is the dreidel, which is the traditional game of Hanukkah the children play. This, of course, is the menorah, or Hanukkah, as you said, which is the correct terminology. And then we have the Star of David. And baking cookies is a very good way to involve children in the holiday. It's very good therapy for both children and mothers, kneading the dough and pressing out the shapes.
Now, what about these brownies?
The brownies. Shalom Aleichem, the Jewish novelist, wrote a story about young boys playing the game of dreidel, and they used to use carob chips. You put in and you take out, and they munched on the carob chips. So these are brownies with carob chips. And the third thing is these are miniature cheesecakes. And cheesecakes are eaten on Hanukkah in honor of Judith, who is who is believed to be one of the heroes of the Hanukkah story. She was very beautiful, and she was invited to dinner by the enemy general, Holofernes. And she fed him cheesecakes, and he became very thirsty, and he asked her for wine, and she kept giving him wine, and he fell asleep. And she is reputed to have killed him. And, of course, this immeasurably aided the Jewish war effort.
We've only got a couple of minutes left, so tell me a little bit about these special potato pancakes. What do you call them?
Okay, these are potato latkes, and latkes are really the most popular and the oldest Hanukkah food. They've been around since the 14th century.
All right. Now, you have brought a recipe along, so maybe we could take a look at that, and the folks will have some idea of the kinds of ingredients that go into that.
Okay. The recipe that I brought is probably the easiest latke recipe anywhere. And you just use 2 large baking potatoes, a small onion that is chopped, an egg, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a dash of black pepper, a 1/2 cup of oil, and a 1/4 cup or more of matzah meal, as needed.
Let's start to make this, so we see what's
I'm going to make this. This is a very good recipe for women who subscribe to the supermom myth. It's very easy. I'm just grating the onions. You can make this in no time at all and bring the tradition of the holiday to your children.
Where would we be without food processors?
Right, because your children then can have the nostalgia when they grow up of the sizzling latkes and the smell and the taste with really a minimum of effort on your part. Okay.
And then we put the egg in, right?
We put the egg in, a little salt, and pepper.
Not too much pepper, I sneeze.
Okay, just a little.
All right.
Okay. Okay, it's important not to overblend in this recipe. And then we're just going to add a 1/4 cup or more of matzah meal as it's needed.
And pretty soon, it's all ready to be put in the oven.
Well, it's not put in the oven.
What do you do?
You form these into...
You can tell I'm not a cook.
...patties, and you fry them in a frying pan in oil.
And that makes these beautiful things that are so incredibly tasty.
And very easy, very easy.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming to us and showing us a little bit about how to do things make food for Hanukkah. That's fun. I'm going to try this. I've got the recipe. If anyone writes to us, we'll make sure they get a copy of the recipe.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for being with us.